What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panpro Games, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Pokemon Radar in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and especially in 1.1.2, as there were some changes in the recent update that actually changed the Pokemon Radar. And I want to talk about those changes. I also want to talk about your best practices and the best way to actually get shiny Pokemon in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. For those who don't already have the Pokemon Radar, you can get the Pokemon Radar by completing your Sinnoh Dex, which is by seeing the original 150 Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex. And once you have seen them all, you can turn in your Sinnoh Dex to get the National Dex from Professor Rowan, and then you have to go to Professor Oak at the bottom of the map down here at this park. And once you're at the park, you will see Professor Oak, and he'll just give you the PokeRadar. So that's how you get the PokeRadar. Now that we have the PokeRadar, there's just a couple of things we want to do before we dive into the actual process. So the first thing is we got the app. So you want to have the app open. This app will show you what Pokemon you're currently chaining and what number in the chain you are in, and also your past hunts. Other things that you really want to do is you want to have a lot of max repels. If you encounter any wild Pokemon while you are doing a PokeRadar chain, it will break the chain. So to make sure you only encounter Pokemon in your chain, you're going to use a max repel. So I recommend buying a lot of max repels because it's going to be a very useful item in this process. You also want to remove any non-radar items from your hotkey. So if you use something like a bicycle, if you jump on your bicycle, it will break your radar. I unfortunately learned the hard way in a live stream. So like, make sure you just remove everything else. So Explorer Kit is gone, and make sure everything's gone. Just have PokeRadar only. And with only the PokeRadar, you'll now just have to hit the plus button and it will work immediately. You don't have to hit plus and then another direction. So you want to have that set up. Lastly, it is advised that you use a Pokemon that is really good for catching. There are some Pokemon that are way better at catching other Pokemon than the others, and Gallade is my personal favorite in this game. Gallade has the move False Swipe, which allows you to deal damage to the opponent but not actually kill them. Hypnosis can put a Pokemon to sleep, and Thunder Wave can paralyze them, both making the Pokemon a lot easier to capture. And this Pokemon has all three of those moves, so I recommend getting Gallade. Thunder Wave is a TM, Hypnosis would be a heart scale move, and False Swipe I believe is learned at like level 18 or 19 for Gallade. So this Pokemon has it all. Highly recommend just catching our male routes and getting one of these to help make this process a little bit easier for you. And now we are ready to raid our hunt. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually start off by using my max repel. And now we're not getting any encounters. Then we're going to head into the grass, and we're going to be hitting our hotkey item. And as you can see, we got 4 bushes going up on the map here, right? And these 4 bushes have a Pokemon in it. And whatever Pokemon we get from this bush will be a Pokemon we can chain. So we're going to go to the first Pokemon here, and we're going to see what it is. And it's a female Nidoran, all right? So I'm going to go catch this female Nidoran. And every bush after this point will now be a female Nidoran. If you don't want this, you can just run away, and then you can walk around for 60 steps, and you can re-radar. As you can see in the top right hand corner of my screen, we have a chain of 1 Nidoran going. So now we are starting our chain right here at 1. If we catch another Nidoran, there's a chance for us to get to a chain of 2 Nidoran. But there's a lot of important rules that we need to follow to keep this chain going. However, there is no 100% way to guarantee your chain to keep going, because at the very best, there is a 7% chance that your chain will fail, no matter if you play perfectly right. And there's actually only a 5% chance your chain will actually make it to 40, based on how many times you actually have to pass that 7% fail rate. You have to pass that 7% fail rate 40 times. So it is pretty tough. However, the rewards are absolutely worth it. In patch 1.1.2, they actually nerfed Pokemon Radar continuing chain rate by 10% for tiles 1, 2, and 3. However, 4 is still at a 93% to continue, so you always want to go for the 4th tile away from you, the furthest one. But what does further actually mean? And today I hope to really alleviate that confusion, because I was wrong about it for a while too. So there is a lot of superstition about the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl PokeRadar considers as a grass patch 4 away. As long as you walk 4 steps in a direction, it counts. It takes the longest distance in any direction, horizontally or vertically. All the tiles in each square count for the same distance. So all that matters here is if I go to the right 1, that is 1 tile. If I go to the right 2 to the right, that is 2 tiles. But you notice how if I go to the left 2, we have a shaking grass here. We actually have a shaking grass on this left tile. If I go 2 to the left and down, that is exactly the same as me going 2 to the right. So both of those are actually the same distance. So you actually got to think in a tile mentality. So the furthest one actually is this one on the top left. And so we're not counting individual tiles, but we're just counting the steps my player is taking from 1 to 4, and whatever one is in that big square of 4 or past 4 is the furthest tile. It's a little bit confusing, but as I said before, this one right here, you would think I walked 3 steps. It's still only 2 away because I am still in the same line on that shaking grass. And hopefully this image will help you out that I'm going to overlay here, because it is a little bit confusing, but once you see the image, it really understands how you need to be thinking. But yes, this grass on the far right and this grass to my left is actually the same distance on the radar. So you would actually be breaking your chain more often if you were to go for that one. Now the odds for the Pokemon Radar are pretty incredible. So at the chain of 1, we have a 1 out of 3,855 chance for a shiny. But when we hit 40, you have a 1 out of 99 chance of getting a shiny. And that's also per tile. So think about it as that's 1 roll. That's 1 tile, but we're actually rolling 4 tiles at once. So really make that a 4 out of whatever number. And you can see on this chart here how your odds increase of getting a shiny. And when you really hit what, 36, where you're under 1,000, well, you're really rolling 4 out of 993, which is really incredible. I do recommend though that getting your chain this high can be difficult. There is RNG to it, and like I said before, there's only a 5% chance that you'll actually make it to 40. So I do recommend re-rolling your radar whenever you get a chance, and it's very easy to do that. All you got to do is walk 60 steps, stay in the patch of grass, or you can even walk right outside of the patch of grass as well. As long as you don't leave the area, you can still see it shaking. Then hit the plus button again. And as you see, we got 4 new patches of grass. So if you do get in a situation where you don't like where the grass is located for whatever reason, or you can't access the grass for some other reason, you can just run around in the same area and just keep re-rolling it. But if you're doing this at a high chain, you can keep re-rolling it until you get a shiny. And shinies are very obvious. If you get a shiny patch, it will literally be a shiny patch. It'll be glowing with sparkles where the grass is popping out. Or if you get a hidden ability patch, then the grass that's popping out is going to be really big and aggressive. And it is possible to get both a shiny patch and a hidden ability patch on the same time. A hidden ability patch odds are 1 out of 128. However, you cannot improve those odds in general, but it is possible to get a shiny and hidden ability patch. So I do think that's cool. So if you are high up in your chain at like, let's say 36, but you really don't want to break your chain, just keep re-rolling. As long as you have max repels, you won't get into wild encounters and you'll be okay. And like I said before, avoid getting on a bike or anything. Another thing that can break your chain is if you have a Pokemon in your party that evolves, if you have an evolution, it will break. If you turn off the game, save your game, turn it off, come back, your chain will be gone as well. So you can only do your chain in your live session. So keep that in mind. Make sure you have time, or make sure you just put the game in sleep mode and don't actually turn off the game or turn off your Switch. Just be super safe on this, because I know it is a lot of work. However, it is super rewarding. I've gotten 6 shinies from this method so far. So keep on keeping on, and I believe in you guys. Well, guys, that is the new PokeRadar update for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.